guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to fix slow download speed in Google Chrome. So in case you're having any download problems in Chrome. So I actually go over quite a lot of solutions. So make sure to stick to the end to see if yours is in there. But first guys, if you want, you can go down on this video in the comment section and click on the first comment that I pinned. This will bring you to my Fiverr, and here you can get a YouTube logo and banner or a modern minimalist YouTube logo and banner for your YouTube channel. But now back to the video. So first, it really goes without saying, but make sure there aren't too many applications or games running. So preferably if you're downloading anything in Google Chrome, make sure it's actually only the download that's busy. Because any other applications, programs, whatever else is open might interfere with that and slow down the process, of course. Same here, for example, you're here in Google Chrome itself. You make sure there's also not too many tabs open here, because this will also take a lot of CPU as well in the process. One tab can actually take up a lot. So watch out with that as well. Now, of course, this is also very logical in a way, but it's also often overlooked, so keep that in mind as well. Now then if I actually go up here to the extensions, you can also do the three dots and go to extensions right here, and then you click manage extensions. You see here are my extensions, and sometimes people have a lot of them, and some actually might be laggy and or malfunctioning, and this of course could also slow down the performance no matter if they're enabled or disabled. So definitely don't overlook that. Disable unnecessary ones and remove ones that actually might cause a problem because they might be badly created extensions as well. So also check out your own extensions. If I'm back on Google here, you can actually just go ahead up here, can type Chrome, two dots, two slashes to the right, and then the word flags. Now you already see it here. Make sure you write this correctly, then you click enter. Then you'll be in the experiments part of Google Chrome. Now up here you want to type parallel. That should be enough, and then you see the word parallel downloading. Now here it's set to default, and do make sure that in this case you do enabled. And then also very important down here, click on relaunch. That is also very important. As you can see, what this will do is actually enable multiple downloads at the same time to accelerate the download speed. Actually working on Macs, Windows and Linux, so that's also nice. It's actually a very important step, so make sure you do that first. Then here I'm going to go back to the three dots. I'm going to go to delete browsing data. Now this will immediately show me from all time, last 24 hours, last hour 50 minutes. And here if you do more, you can do last weeks and all time once again. So I advise you to be on all time. And what you can actually delete here, what I do advise you to do, is do the browsing history. Cached images and files you can also do, and download history. Now if you go down here, these I wouldn't really advise. Some autofill forms from data. You can do that if you have too many, or for example cookies and other sites, of course as well. But some might sign you out of websites, and that might be a bit annoying. So really look for the ones that you actually want to remove. This of course going to make it way faster, so do keep an eye on that. And of course when you've then selected what you wanted to delete, you can do delete data here. So then we can actually immediately go down to security here. I'm going to scroll down a bit. So first of all, make sure that use secure DNS is enabled here, and DNS provider you can choose. You have different options here, and in here the best option should be Cloudflare, so you select this one right here. Now if I go up here, start typing continue running, and as you can see it says continue running background apps when Google Chrome is closed. So make sure that this one is actually off, so you want to turn it off, preventing those apps from running when Chrome is closed. So as I said, in most cases make sure you actually have this turned off. It's advised and would actually also help a lot with the performance of your PC. Then just underneath that, while you're at it, you also have use graphics acceleration when available. And this is actually something that should be turned on in this case. And also, as you can see, important here to click relaunch, because this actually allows Chrome to use more of your GPU, because this is the graphics, so the GPU, meaning of course it can also increase the performance, and giving a little bit of help from the GPU instead of the CPU could actually play a big role in making your downloads faster. So definitely keep that one in mind. It can actually help a lot. Now if you have to, by the way, you can also go down to the left side here and click reset settings, restore settings to their original defaults. You can click on the arrow, and here it will say, and so here to reset some Chrome settings and shortcuts, and disable extensions and delete cookies and other temporary site data. So this is what we saw earlier with the delete browsing data. This was also part of that, but the bookmarks, history and saved password won't be affected. So this is actually a reset. It will bring it back basically to default, not entirely, but it will reset a lot of settings. Now I would definitely advise you to use different solutions before this. This is one really I would use much later on if you've already tried a lot of things, because such a reset wouldn't be necessary in most cases. But definitely keep in mind that that is an option, and then of course you click reset settings here. And also you can check this to help make Chrome better by reporting the current settings. So in case you also want to report something and help the community, of course, for the troubleshooting. Now something else, if you go down here and search and type CMD, this is going to open the command prompt. Make sure before you do that though, right click and do run as administrator. That's an important step. Now if Windows asks you, you say yes. You can see the CMD window will show up here. And then we're going to type ipconfig/flush DNS. Then click enter. As you can see, successfully flushed the DNS resolver cache. Now this actually cleans up the connection between the website, servers and your computer. And so flushing, so removing some of these, is of course also helping in it becoming faster. It really just takes a couple of seconds, so go ahead and do that if you want as well. It's very easy, just in case. Now last thing I wanted to show in Chrome itself is if you go to About Chrome. Now as you can see, mine is nearly up to date. Relaunch Chrome to finish updating, so I actually need to do a relaunch here. I apparently don't have the latest version, and that could of course also interfere with the download you're doing. So a relaunch here would simply be Chrome doing. As you can see, Chrome was updated. It was as simple as that. It goes actually pretty quick. And now I am up to date to the latest version. It's pretty simple, but it can be overlooked. Now talking about updates, of course, make sure that Windows is also up to date. You do that by going to search. Here's best to just type check for updates and then click it. And as you can see, I'm up to date. And here otherwise you would have to do check for updates. A lot of you probably know already about this, but this is just as a reminder that this can also play a role. Of course, if you have an update, do that. Restart your computer and let it just restart. And of course, you can always click on check for updates to double check if there's really no updates available. It's happened to me in the past that I had to click multiple times on here for it to actually find an update that I had to do. So sometimes, even though it says up to date here, you can click this 2 or 3 times to really make sure you're up to date. And then lastly, for the updates, the drivers. Now I actually have a software here called Armoury that I personally use, as you can see, for the drivers of the components in my PC. Now, right now, I have everything up to date except from this one here. This is the app, so I can actually click update here. Or once again, I can do check for updates to see if these are really up to date. And I also have Fan Expert here, which is a different tab that could also sometimes ask for an update. But really, if you go all the way down to settings here, once again, of course, if you're planning on using Armoury, you have to be in the update center, and here I can just check for updates. Because those components, this hardware in my PC, the software that goes with it, so the drivers, if they are not up to date, that can actually cause a lot of problems, also in different cases. So just make sure that you quite regularly check for updates for drivers within your PC. Now something else, these are some smaller solutions, but maybe some that you have not thought about. So of course you can try to use an Ethernet cable. So the Ethernet cable is of course one that will go immediately into the router or into a socket in the wall if you have that. And of course put that immediately into your PC as well to have a more direct connection. That could actually be way better. So if you actually have access to that, try it out, why not? And of course you can also, in case if you do have a router in your house, turn off your connection. So turn it on and off again, of course. Also on your PC, you can restart your PC afterwards. So restart the router and restart your PC. Small fixes you might have already tried, but it's worth mentioning in case you might have actually forgotten about it or didn't know about it. In any case, I tried to come up with a lot of solutions. If you still have any questions, of course, leave them down below. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please, if you like, would be really nice. Subscribe, also really nice. Hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.